Welcome, everybody. We'll just take a moment here to allow people to trickle in, but feel free to introduce yourself in the chat here. The chat is open. Feel free to say your name, where you work, as well as where you are, since we know that people are coming from all over the world. Amazing. Hello, everybody. Like I said, we will get started here in just a moment. I see people are still trickling in. It is wonderful to have you all here as we talk about the AI Journalism Lab. We're just getting started. The chat is open, so feel free to introduce yourself there. It's great to see some familiar faces already. Love it. Awesome. Well, we will get started here because we have a lot to get through today, and I want to make sure we have a lot of time for your questions because I'm sure you have a lot of them. But thank you all so much for joining us today for our informational webinar about our inaugural cohort of the AI Journalism Lab program. This is a 3-month hybrid tuition-free program developed by J+ at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at CUNY with support from Microsoft. And we're excited to share some information with you about our new program and get you guys excited about it and see if you have any questions for us about the program. Just making sure we're still good on seeing my screen here, right? My panelists here? Perfect, love it. Always just making sure, you never know. Awesome, before we dive into the logistics and everything about the program today, just wanna go over a bit of housekeeping. So throughout this webinar, we welcome you to ask questions using the Q&A function that is at the bottom of your screen. You will be able to put your questions there that you have for us at any point throughout the session today. So please make sure that you use that Q&A function for questions. The chat is also open. As you can see, everyone here is really excited to meet each other, and we want that to be active as well. But because there are so many of you, we would love to keep our questions to the Q&A function. So please make sure that you put those in there. We will check those throughout, and we'll make sure that we answer them at the end during our Q&A time. We also will have, as you can see, we're recording this session right now. And so we will have the recording as well as these slides available for you and for those who registered and are unable to be here today we'll share those out after the session as well. So just to quickly introduce our core team here, my name is Kyle Plants. I'm the Senior Program Manager of J+ at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at CUNY. And I'm excited to be joined by Nikita Roy. She is our program lead of our AI Journalism Lab. She's also the host of Newsroom Robots, an amazing podcast, which I 100% recommend that you should be listening to. And she is also an ICFJ fellow as well. So let's dive into what we will be doing today. We will go over what the AI Journalism Lab is, why you should apply, what we'll teach, and the requirements for applying. So please ask a lot of questions. We are here to answer them. You can use the Q&A function again to be able to ask those questions. And we'll get started. So I'd like to pass the mic over to Noreen Gillespie, who is the Journalism Director of Microsoft's Democracy Forward, just to say a few words.
Thanks, Kyle. And it's so wonderful to see so many people here today with interest in this program. It's really heartening for us. We feel very passionately about this, and we're excited to see what the program can do. Our hope for you, if you are selected to go through this program, is that you gain literacy in AI and the confidence to understand where it can be applied in your work and in your newsroom, and that ultimately you drive transformation that's grounded in ethical thinking. The team at Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism has a ton of ideas about the ways that you can collaborate, learn from each other, and learn from experts with access to some of the cutting edge tools that are changing not just journalism, but workplaces around the globe. So I'm excited to be here today and to see all of the enthusiasm for this program. We're really excited to be partnering on this particular project, and I can't wait to see what it's going to turn into at the end of the next 3 months. Nikita?
Thanks, Noreen. So let's kick off by talking about what the AI Journalism Lab is designed to offer. So our lab is structured around weekly 2-hour Zoom classes that happens on Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And here's where you'll be learning from some of the leading experts in the field. These are highly interactive classes with dedicated time for AI sprint sessions, as we're calling them, where you're not only learning the theories, but also able to apply them in real time. And now, in addition to all of these classes, we provide coaching sessions, and this is where you get tailored support, direct feedback, and the opportunity to tackle any specific challenges that you might be facing in integrating AI into your work. And joining the AI Journalism Lab means you'll be part of a diverse and global cohort of about 20 experienced journalists, technologists, and educators. You'll be networking with peers from all over the world. And perhaps the most exciting part of the lab is the final project. This isn't just an academic exercise, but it's a real world implementation and exploration about AI and in journalism. And that's where you'll design and plan to execute on a project. And this project serves as a tangible outcome of all of your learning, and that showcases your ability to innovate and work within the AI and journalism landscape. And all of this is tuition free. It's a hybrid program, and we will have one in-person gathering in New York City, with the rest of the sessions all being virtual. So now let's look into if you're a good candidate for this program and review the requirements. First of all, the program is for experienced journalists, technologists, and educators. We're looking for those who have a demonstrated experience with technology, and more importantly, they are driven by a curiosity about AI. Our program is really built for those who have a track record of innovation and are passionate about driving change and sustainability in service to their audience. The core of this program really is sharing knowledge. It's the heart of the program, and our global cohort really reflects that. You'll be engaging with colleagues from various organizations, including legacy news, digital startups, for-profit, and nonprofit sectors. And expert guidance is really the key component of the AI Journalism Lab. You'll receive personalized coaching from experts who are well-versed with all of the challenges and opportunities that AI presents. And they're here to help you navigate this entirely new landscape and to support you in integrating AI into your work effectively. And finally, this program is for those who are eager to learn and grow, not just in your personal capacity, but to be able to bring that knowledge back to your newsroom. At the AI Journalism Lab, we are looking to build and develop leaders who will be at the forefront of integrating and shaping the use of AI in journalism. And if this sounds like you, and if these criteria speak to you and your professional journey and aspirations, then this program is for you, and we would be delighted to have you apply. Now, how does this program work? So it's organized in 2 phases. The first phase occurs before the summer, from April through June. Then we take a break from classes during summer, and that allows you a time to reflect on all of your learning and also conduct research for your final project. While classes may be on break during this time, coaching still remains available, ensuring you have resources and that expert support to work towards your final project. And the second phase of the program then begins in September and goes through till October. And at the end of the program, you will present the final project, and coaching takes place all throughout the program. Now, talking about curriculum, within the AI Journalism Lab, you'll be engaging with a curriculum that is designed to empower you with both the theoretical insights on AI and the practical skills. So we'll be starting by exploring the vast landscape of AI, laying down all of the foundational knowledge that you have on AI. And from there, we'll delve into all of the real world applications in journalism. So we'll be thinking about AI strategy, unpacking all of the crucial legal and ethical considerations of AI deployment. And we'll also talk about important topics like, how do you report on generative AI? And throughout the program, we'll also have AI sprint sessions, as we're calling them. These are focused sessions on practical AI applications. They are designed to teach you key skills such as mastering prompt writing, leveraging AI in data journalism, creating AI-driven workflows for efficiencies, and how do you also build your own AI prototypes through no-code tools. As you can sense, this is a highly participatory program. It's hands-on and very, very interactive. We've designed the curriculum to ensure that by the end of this program, you are not just informed on AI, but are fully equipped to lead AI initiatives within the news industry. So we'll begin the program with an in-person kickoff that's slated for May 3rd and May 4th. This mandatory session will happen at the Newmark J School in New York City. And over these 2 days, you'll be immersed in all the foundational classes about AI and engage in hands-on workshops that allow you to apply this foundational knowledge practically. So this experiential learning experience will really give you a taste of what's to come and is also intended to begin to build the community and that collaborative spirit among the cohort that will carry throughout the rest of the program. And to facilitate your attendance, participants will also receive a flat rate allowance to cover travel and accommodations. Now, for the final project, we are asking you to identify a specific area of topic or challenge that is related to AI journalism or something in your work in newsroom. This project can take various forms, like building prototypes for AI products, or like building an AI training course for your newsroom, policy guides on how your organization uses AI. Think deeply about the type of final project that you would like to work on and that you could have a lasting impact and help you with your work, because the final project is really your opportunity to apply the concepts and the skills that you have learned during the lab in a real world scenario. You'll have dedicated time each month, including the summer, to develop your project. And at the end of the program, that's where you'll be presenting your project to your peers, offering a brief overview and insights into your process and outcomes. And so this format is for these projects is like very flexible. It could be a presentation deck, a written document, a blueprint, or a roadmap. And this presentation is really a chance to share your vision and gain valuable feedback from your peers. So just remember, the goal of the final project is not just to learn, but it's to produce something that can have a lasting impact on your organization and on your work, and it contributes to the evolving integration of AI in journalism. And finally, here's what you can expect from participating in the AI in Journalism Lab. First and foremost, you'll gain the confidence in deploying AI tools in your work. This means not only understanding all of the technical aspects, but also being able to use these tools in an ethical and equitable manner. Your understanding of all of these emerging technologies will be sharpened throughout the program, and we will help you cultivate a broader perspective on how AI intersects with journalism ethics, both in the present and looking ahead into the future. And this big picture thinking is what we're really focusing on, because it's crucial for leadership in any newsroom. So you'll be prepared to lead discussions and strategize around the implementation of AI in newsrooms, and ensuring that all of these conversations are informed and forward-thinking. Crucially, you won't be alone in this journey. The program is designed to provide ongoing support in your learning journey and career development throughout the lab. And ultimately, you'll become part of the solution, driving innovation in journalism, shaping the ethical use of AI in news, and ensuring that the news industry continues to thrive in an age of technological change. So now Kyle will take you through the specifics of what you'll need to apply. So Kyle, over to you.
Thank you, Nikita. Also, I just want to highlight very quickly here, we have some amazing questions already coming in, so please keep using that Q&A function, since we're just about to come to our Q&A time, and we'll make sure that your questions are answered. I think one of the big questions that you might be having is, what do you need to apply? So you need a completed application in order to be considered for this program. And you can find that application here, and I'm dropping that into the chat right now for you. Uh, the completed application includes demographic questions, an upload of your resume. We do ask a question to ensure that you are proficient in English or comfortable speaking in English, since our classes will be taking place in English. We also have questions that we want some thoughtful answers to, including telling us a little bit more about your experience so far with AI, especially generative AI models. What have you done with them before? How have you used them? We want to know what you want to get out of this training. Why is this something that you're interested in? Why is this now the right time for you to be doing this training? We also have a question in here about the final project, and we're just curious to know a little bit about what you want to work on for your final project. Do you have an idea already of something that you'd like to dig in? I just want to highlight here as well that the ideas that you list here you're not stuck with them. You are allowed to change your mind as the program goes along. We just are curious to know a little bit about what you are thinking in terms of something that you would want to work on during the program. And then finally, one of the big questions, another question that we ask is, have you utilized any AI tools to assist you in drafting any part of your application? And if so, please provide those details about the tools you used and how they contributed to your application process. I just also wanted to note here that the use of AI tools does not affect the decision on your application. This is just intended to promote transparency and to better understand the role that AI plays in the application process. We also ask you if you are willing and able to commit to attend the live sessions that Nikita mentioned that will take place on Fridays. Those will be for 2-hour sessions. In addition to that, Nikita mentioned coaching sessions. Those will take place outside of the classroom time, so budgeting an additional hour or so potentially for those meetings, and then working independently on your project work and other course materials, assignments, such as readings, videos, activities. We estimate that participating in this program would take about 4 to 5 hours a week in order to participate. And then finally, we ask for the contact information for 2 references who can speak to your experience and work ethic in a professional setting. We ask for their names and email addresses, and we encourage them to be a supervisor, a former boss, a peer, a coach, mentor, or someone else that is able to speak about your experience. And we may reach out to them during the application review process. All right. So as I said, the questions are pouring in. We're really excited to dive into them right now. I know we went through a lot of things, so if anything is still unclear, please do let us know. I do just want to highlight that the deadline for this application is March 12th, and that is at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So please make sure that you submit your application by then. So that you can be considered for this program. For more information and for details about what Nikita and I have shared today, you can check out our program page on our website. I'm dropping that link here in the chat as well. And if you have any specific questions about your situation or anything like that, you can email us at jplus@journalism.cuny.edu. Great. So I am ready to start the Q&A. So I'm really excited for this. We have so many questions to get through. This is going to be really exciting. So I am going to stop sharing my screen here so that you can stop share. Perfect. Great. Alrighty. So Nikita, I would love to know your thoughts on this first question about the level of prior knowledge that you think someone should have coming into this lab.
Yeah, so we're just looking for people who might have dabbled with AI, so you at least have a basic understanding of generative AI tools. And that's the kind of level of prior knowledge that we are looking for. As long as you have a background of innovating with technology and have a track record of that, you will be able to do this program well. And we will be providing all of the foundational knowledge in AI as well.
Yes, thanks, Nikita. I agree, and I just want to echo too. I think one of the things that we love about our cohort-based programs is that we get to have people from all different experience and knowledge levels. So I know some of you, have done a lot with AI, and that's great. There's still, there's still a lot happening still with AI, and will be happening this year. And so, you can definitely learn a lot in this program, but also for people that might have just have some experience in AI too. We definitely love to bring people together to share knowledge and learn from each other. And that we think that's what makes for a really good program. So thank you for that question. All right, moving on here to, I think this is a great question. I will take this one about, do we own 100% of the final project? And for the final project, I just want to highlight here that it's based off of what you want to work on, what you think is an important part for your organization, or if you're a freelancer for your venture, something along those lines there too. So you will own, the work that you're doing for your final project there. We are just here to kind of help you work on it, and also for you to share your knowledge with others. And that's really, once again, I think the key part of that program. So that final project is yours. We don't have ownership over it. All right, moving on here. This is a great question that we just heard from as well, and that I just alluded to a bit, is this program open only to full-time journalists in newsrooms or freelancers as well? Both. We would, like I said, I love having a good diversity of thought and kinds of people in our cohorts, and that includes people who are currently in a news organization or freelancers as well. All right. Nikita, I have a question for you here. Is knowledge of a programming language a requirement?
Absolutely not. Great if you have programming language background, and that's where, again, a diverse cohort with all kinds of different experiences. If you're a technologist in the newsroom, that's amazing. Apply to the program. But at the same time, you don't need to know programming in order to be a part of this program.
Perfect. Liz asks this great question about will each participant get one coach, or will attendees be grouped based on project ideas? That's a great question, because we're still figuring that out, and I think it depends on the cohort here too. So we will have coaching, and you'll be able to interact with them in either group coaching sessions or one-on-one. We're still finalizing the kind of way that will work. And depending on the different project ideas, we want to create opportunity for you to talk with someone who might have experience on a project that you're working on, as well as from each other who might have experience as well. So I just wanted to highlight that question there too. All right. Great. So many great questions here. I apologize, I'm going through them here, so making sure I get to as many of them as I can here. Let's talk about, this is a great question here, Nikita, about, to clarify, the final project is not a reporting project, story, series, video, etc., but more related to the use of AI in the newsroom. And I think that the answer for that, it can be both. We are very open to it, of what the final project will look like. You'll notice that we are being intentionally a little vaguer in terms of the requirements. And the reason for that is because we want to see a bunch of different kinds of projects. We know that some people are looking to implement AI workflows into their news organization, and that's great. We'd love to be able to see that. Some might work on an AI policy for their organization. We'd love to see that. Some people might want to cover AI, and they might do a reporting project around that. I think that's cool. That would be really great to see.
Yeah, just to add to that, think about a project that helps you with your current work that you're doing. So if you're a reporter, that makes sense that you're looking at reporting on generative AI, and we're going to be focusing on that as well. And if you're a technologist or product manager, you're looking at more about AI products. So something that integrates into your current work, and be innovative and really think deeply about what kind of AI project that you would like to work on.
Perfect. All right. I saw a question in the chat as well as here in the Q&A, so I want to make sure I get to that as well. About the dedicated time. So I did just highlight that before, but just to reiterate, classes will take about 2 hours. we ask you to budget about 4 to 5 hours of work each week for the program, including those classes. So that can include a coaching session, that can include doing readings and, doing work on your project. So that is the dedicated time that we anticipate, in addition to class for this program. So many questions. Once again, just want to reiterate here, the cost of the program is free. It is tuition free. So nothing you don't need to pay in order to participate in our classes here. I do want to highlight here, Tim asked a great question about lots of talk about bringing this knowledge back to your newsrooms. And I think the question, one of the things I want to highlight here is we want to see both freelancers and organizations, people working at newsrooms apply here. And when we talk about bringing that knowledge back to our newsrooms, actually I'd like to that you put it in quote here, because we see many different versions of newsrooms, whether that is your news organization that you are a full-time staffer at or a part-time staffer at, whether it's your news or whether it's your organization as in your own freelance business, whether it is your community that you are, part of. We are very open to the kind of different ways of bringing knowledge back and how you share that and how your project is ultimately implemented, after the program ends. So I just wanted to highlight that there. Great. Oh my gosh, so many questions, which I love. Okay. Okay, this is a great question here, Nikita. What about projects that don't result in user-facing tools and have a focus on digital transformation, change culture in the newsroom?
Absolutely. Again, different ways in which you can think about this project and how does it integrate with your work in your current newsroom, and every newsroom looks different and your work might look different. So think more deeply about how you can support your newsroom in this current transformation and any type of tools. And that's why we're being really, really vague with the type of project idea. So feel free to put that idea forward.
Great. Yes, I just want to highlight again that the in-person kickoff is mandatory, and I understand that people are coming from all over the world, and that is why we mentioned that we have a flat rate allowance that allows you to travel for flights, for hotel, for visa. I know that is a thing for some countries, so we try to make this as accessible as possible there, and that's, being able to indicate that you are able to come to New York is important in order for us to kick off this program here. Alrighty. Yes, both references can be from your newsroom, and that is perfectly fine. So I just wanted to highlight that. Yes, your references can be for your supervisor. It can be someone, your editor-in-chief, or someone else who's supervised your work before. So that is totally fine to have references from both your two references from the same newsroom. All right. Oh, I love this question because I love product. So I want to ask this one. As a product, and Nikita, I'll ask you this one as well, because I think it's a good one. As a product manager within a news organization who interacts with various teams, including the newsroom, is this program more focused for those who work with the newsroom majority of the time, or could it be for product managers who are working equally with other teams across the organization?
Well, it is for you as well. So as we were saying, we are making this kind of cohort that brings down the boundaries between like editorial, technology, product, because we need to have this collaborative spirit from different backgrounds and experiences. So you can be a part of the product side of the newsroom and extensively working there. And then we also will be having journalists who are in the newsroom and having more of that editorial focused, and they'll be focusing on projects. But at the end of the day, what we're doing is upskilling everyone on AI.
Yes. I love product people that might not necessarily be working with people in the newsroom specifically, but are working with other teams across the organization, including revenue and marketing and other departments. I think that's fantastic because that's still part of the organization, and there are different ways that you can use AI in your work. And so I'd be excited to see what you come up with, Sylvia. All right. Someone has asked, is it an intention of our final project to be applied in the newsroom we are currently employed for? I want to just highlight the kind of a little bit of a nuance with that is we would love the hope with the final projects is that you are able to implement your final project in some capacity. It can be for the newsroom that you are currently work for. If you leave at some point, you know, and you're working on it for another thing, that's totally fine there too. But we do like to see how it could be used and implemented in some of the work that you're doing in that way. So I just wanted to highlight that implementation, I think, is always really important because you can have that theoretical aspect of things, but seeing how you are able to apply it, the work, and implement it in some way is always fantastic. All right. Yes, Joy Deep, the application is open now. Please apply and don't wait to the last minute. Once again, March 12th is the deadline for that. All righty. Took that one. All right. Great question here for you, Nikita, from Priyali. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. For people who have limited interaction with AI tools, how will the applications be judged based on the suggested AI challenge to be researched?
So we'll be looking at something innovative that you're looking at to research within AI and journalism. But we also do ask at the same time to have some familiarity with generative AI. So you've tried out all of these ChatGPT tools or Gemini, Bard, or like Google's versions of ChatGPT and all of these different things that are out there. If you just played around with it a bit, so you have a foundational knowledge of how these models even work and have interacted with them, so you can mention that in your application process. And so you can be detailed about how you have interacted with it.
I also would add that if you have some ideas of what you would want to do, that's fine too to put in there. But you don't need to have a fully fledged formed idea like I'm going to do this. It's going to take this long. Blah, blah, we don't expect that in your application. So if you try out some tools and then you realize that you want to, I'm thinking I might try this. That's also totally fine there for that. So you can indicate that in your application. All right. Yeah, all right, Nikita. Here's a question. Could you elaborate on what do you consider having a track record of innovation for, an ideal candidate here? What does that look like to you?
Yeah, so somebody who has been leading change, who has had an ability, who has been talking about innovative products, ideas within their newsroom, have a track record for pushing kind of the boundaries of what's possible and experimenting with new ideas. So that can look really different from you have launched a newsletter within your company, in your newsroom, or you are like a product owner trying out and experimenting multiple different products, or you're a startup executive and being able to found a new news company or a tool. And so all of those different ways in which you have shown and demonstrated innovation. So just kind of talk us through that in the application as well.
Yeah, we're really looking for people who are able to, we kind of just talked about this, of someone who's able to kind of go back to whatever organization, wherever, they are, to implement and do. And that's what I think makes an ideal candidate is someone who has had experience, kind of being that record of authority, or being that person that is full of experimentation and that then your organization looks to help make change and stay up to date on things. And so I think that's also what we're referring to for that. All right. So many questions. Okay. Great. There's a question here asking about how much weight are you putting on applicants' pre-existing AI knowledge and use? And I think we've mentioned this before there too, but I think a great cohort is made up of various people with various experiences. So I anticipate that there will be people who have a lot of experience, and then there will be others who don't have as much experience, but has a record of innovating in their organization and has wants an interesting project idea. And so that might be a good candidate as well there too. So, we're really looking for a holistic view of our candidates when we're reviewing applications.
Yeah. And I just want to mention, like, just walk us through that kind of experience that you have with AI. If you haven't, what type of tools you've used, the extent to which that would be really helpful to know as well.
Yes. Just to clarify for someone, the 4 to 5 hour week commitment includes the 2 hour course. It does not include, it's not separate from that. So it is 4 to 5 hours, which includes the 2 hour course. But of course, that's just an estimate of how long your project might take a little bit longer. You need to spend 1 week longer on it. That's, we're just estimating for people that to budget about 4 to 5 hours. All right. I think this is a great question here, Nikita. How are you thinking about individual projects when reviewing applications? Are you prioritizing projects that would be the most impactful or usable for the industry, that would have a clear impact on individual organizations, that are the most novel, etc.?
So we're really looking at innovation as well. We want to see something new and exciting, and so that you will be able to get the guidance of all of these experts to be able to create that program. And at the same time, also maybe something that has an impact on your organization. So it also could just be an AI policy and detailed AI policy that you are building out for your newsroom. And talk to us again about what kind of impact you expect to have on this program. So you don't, as Kyle has been mentioning, you don't need to have a whole full-fledged idea and plan of the program. That's what we are here to support you throughout the program on, and you'll have coaches guiding you. But talk to us why you want to do this particular project, and why would this impact your organization or impact your work, and what kind of change are you expecting this to have, and what excites you about it. So tell us more about all of those different components as well.
Yeah, I think we're really interested in just seeing what project ideas people have here. And so I think a great project can, be impactful or useful for the industry as a large. I think another great impact is on your individual organization. It really kind of depends here. And so I'd like to see a variety of those different kinds of projects. All right. Moving on. You will hear about the outcome of your application. So once the application period closes, you will go through the application review process. We'll do interviews and ultimately decide our cohort. And so you should hear from us in April. I would say by mid-April. Okay, let's hit that one. I want to, there's a question in here from Saumya. Once again, I apologize if I mispronounced your name here. For your project idea, because she's asking here about, are you supposed to pitch an idea to research an AI challenge that newsroom can use for the newsroom, not a solution for a journalistic project per se? For example, an AI election news tracker or a comment moderation bot. I would actually think that both of those could be good project ideas. What do you think, Nikita?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, if you're thinking of like an innovative product that you want to be able to test out and build, as we're saying, we will be giving you coaching and guidance, and we'll be talking a lot about building AI prototypes. So that could be something that you want to build an AI prototype by the end of this for that final project. So different ways in which that could look like that integrates into your work.
Great. All righty.
There's one question over here that I just saw about, can we apply with the team? I'm saying this because there's much to do, and news are often leaving us with a last minute thing that don't allow us to be present all the time. So
Yes,
yeah.
that's a great question. So because we want to get people we want to get as many people from different places and different organizations as possible. So we you are more than welcome to work on your project with a team. However, we would only have one person attend classes, and it should be the same person who is coming every week. So that way they get to know the cohort, they're kind of part of that experience. But once again, we're all part of this knowledge sharing. You are we want you to go back to your organization, go back to your team, and share what you've learned each week in class. And so then that way you can kind of work on your project or whatever you need to do then. So you are more than welcome to once again work on it as a team. However, in this specific program, only one of you would be able to participate in class.
Yeah.
Thank you. Alrighty, so Victoria has a question here about English proficiency needs to be proven. We are not asking you to take a TOEFL test or anything like that there. It's a self assessment of your English and making sure that you are able to communicate in class, that you are able to kind of follow along with the materials there. That's just a self-assessment and just making sure that that is what you feel comfortable with. It's okay. I understand that not everyone is comfortable always speaking English we're not asking you to do that all the time, but just making sure that because our instructors will be speaking English, that you are able to follow along and communicate as well in that way. Great. So many great questions here. Does your organization need to already be using AI or need to commit to using for your final project? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. So that's sharing knowledge, again, we're talking about is really at the heart of the program, and we understand newsrooms might be at different levels of AI, might have different experiences with AI and the different cultures. So we will be talking about AI and you will be getting upskilled and learning about it. And the whole purpose is for you to be sharing that knowledge and going back to your newsroom and talking about it and sharing it to your peers over there. But no, you do not need to be using AI in your newsroom as of right now. And this is just an experience for you. Maybe part of your research project is actually figuring out whether AI is a right use case for your newsroom and what might be the best use cases. So that could be part of the research project if your newsroom does not use AI as of right now.
Yes, I agree 100%. Great. Go ahead, Nikita.
I just saw another question related to the final project was about can you propose a project that you're already working at in your day job? And yes, absolutely. We would highly encourage something like that, which can have a direct impact on your news organization, because again, we are giving you access to all of these experts and coaches and training that we will be giving you throughout the entire program. So that could help you with the direct impact on your organization.
Yes, I agree. I saw that question. I was going to ask you about it. Great. I think this is a great question, Nikita. This one here on how thorough do they need to be on the application when explaining the generative AI ideas they would like to implement if selected?
Yeah. So again, maybe something you don't have to be having an extensive plan and schedule on how it might be looking. If it's a particular area, like you want to explore AI and audience engagement, and you have some sort of ideas that you have maybe prototyped with or experimented with, or that's just a general area in which that's where you focus on, you work on newsletters and you want to see how AI and newsletters could help you, could be a great research project that you want to take on. So, but focus on a lot more than on why are you thinking about this project, how this project will make an impact on your organization, on your work, on the broader journalism industry, and just walk us through kind of the motivation for that project, really.
Yes. I also just want to highlight on your application, those open answer questions. There's a character limit as well too. So please make sure that you are concise and succinct as well. So you don't need to list out every methodology and thing that you're planning to do there. Give us the good idea of what you're planning to do. All right. I think this is a good question on, is it mandatory for the participant to implement the AI learning in his or her newsroom? I think the thing for me is that once again, I mentioned we love to see people go back and implement their learnings in a way. But one of the things that I love seeing is when someone tries to experiment and it doesn't go according to how they thought it would. I think those, call it a failure if you would like, but those failings are lessons and learnings too. And I expect, there might be some people who want to go back to their organization. I've done this thing. I have this workflow and I think it's going to be really helpful for us. And their newsroom is like, you know what, we can't do that right now. And that's okay. That is a learning there too. And being able to, say they're ready 6 months down the road, you already have kind of that plan there. And so it does not need to be immediate in order to implement. We just want to kind of see what your thought process is in terms of once the program ends, what you plan to use your project for, or as you go back to your organization. I saw some questions in the chat as well as here. Again, you're expected to hear back from us in mid-April is our plan for that.
And we also have a few educators in the room that I'm seeing a lot of questions about final projects and what that looks for educators. And so as we were saying, we are also looking for educators to be a part of this cohort. And so it could be something about you are designing a new course on AI and journalism for your students and what that looks like. And that could be part of your final project. So again, something that may be related to your work and help you out with your work, and what kind of impact do you expect that to have?
Yes, I saw this question here. Is an education-focused final project an option? Totally. We would love to see that. The program does not need to be US-based citizens only. It's an international program. We love having a global cohort and people from all over the world. Here's this question on, will lessons topics be broken down based on area of coverage, i.e. breaking news health coverage? No, it'll be the topics that Nikita shared before, such as, how you use, AI policy and ethics. There's a class on reporting on AI. It's more around there, not specifically broken down by specific news beats or coverage in that way. Yes, there's so many good questions here.
I'm seeing a lot of questions about if you're not able to commit to all of the required dates and projects and the times, and if there's flexibility built in. So we are asking people to be present for those virtual sessions, just because again, it's a very learning, hands-on experience. It's not just a lecture style. We will be doing a lot of hands-on activities, and you'll be getting to interact with instructors during that time. So we would highly encourage people to be part of that. But we understand everyone's here is part of a newsroom and news happens. So we will also, I believe, recording all of the sessions that you could come in later on, but we would highly encourage, if you know that you won't be able to make it to most of these sessions, it might not be a good time for you to take the program as of right now.
Yeah, I agree. We do always record our sessions just so that you can go back and refer to them as learning materials. And we do understand that things happen, things come up. And you might need to miss a class, and that's perfectly fine. You just need to let us know in advance, and you watch the session recording afterwards. But as Nikita mentioned, if you are unable to really commit to the live sessions in that way, this might not be the right time for you to apply. All right. Can I submit initial ideas for applying AI for audience development, data analysis, or should we work more on journalism content projects? I would love to see an AI project in audience development. That'd be really cool for data analysis. You should do that. All right, we've answered some of these before. Thank you all so much for these great questions. I really appreciate it. We are coming quickly to the end of our session here, so we're just going to answer a few more, and we'll wrap it up here. I have this is a great question here. I want to answer this one on how much would you recommend speaking about your project or application to your newsroom before applying? I encourage you to ask your news organization, whether it's your supervisor, whether it's a colleague or something in that way, before you apply, and I encourage that one of your references is someone in your organization in that way, because then they are aware that if accepted, you are participating in this program, that you'll have to set time aside from work a little bit for the class. That way they are just aware of kind of what you're doing there. So I always do recommend, and they might have ideas for a project idea or something that you might work on or provide feedback in that way. So definitely encourage you to do that if you are able to. Definitely not a requirement.
I'm seeing a few questions about the references, like whether they be from your newsroom. So anybody who can speak to your ability to work and any projects that you're worked on, to talk about your innovative capabilities and stuff like that, that would be a good reference.
Yes. Yes, I see question of if you're spearheading a journalistic project within a nonprofit, not a traditional newsroom, can you apply? Yes. We are interested in all types of candidates in that way. So I'd be curious, I would love to know more about that. Once again, our goal here is we're planning to accept about 20 to 25 participants for this program there. And so we'll that is kind of the range that we're looking at right now. Great questions here. Here's a great question for Cindy. You have a number of project ideas that solve specific needs in specific local newsroom, but it sounds like you prefer ideas that have a more global application. I just want to reemphasize that that's not your project does not need to solve global journalism problems. That's a lot to take on for a project. So if your project is very specific to your news organization, that is perfectly fine. That's the kinds of projects we're expecting to see. So totally fine. If you see your project has a larger application, it can be used in other local news organizations there too. That's what we mean when we're talking about how this is influenced by other. It can be implemented or helpful for the larger journalism industry. Yes. For the interview process after the application involved, it would be about a 15-20 minute interview just to get a chat and talk with you a little bit more about your application and your interest in the program. That is what that interview process would be. We are for coaches. I know there's been some questions here about coaches and instructors. We are finalizing our roster of great instructors to work with. But as Nikita mentioned, the candidates, the people that we will be working with, are people who are doing AI work right now in their news organization. They are thought leaders in this space, and they have that practical and theoretical experience, and are able to kind of share that with all of you, both in classrooms, but also when working on specific projects there. But those are the kinds of coaches and instructors that we will be having. Resources, I know people always ask about this in terms of how will they be available after the program ends. All of our class materials and resources and things that you've learned during the program will still be available to you after the program ends. So that way you can always refer back to slides and classes and just reuse those materials later on. That's a really important part of the program. So thank you for asking that. All right, we received so many questions today. For the here's a great double question, actually. Recommendation letters, we do not require recommendation letters. It is just a reference of their name and their email address of someone that would be able to talk to us about you. And you can submit 2 project ideas, but just like I said, keep in mind, you have a limited character space in that question there. So please, make sure it is concise as possible. And we know that, you're juggling probably many different ideas. So that is perfectly fine there. Right. Great. Yep, and like I said, the interview process is just one interview. It's not multiple. And it's just to get to know you a little bit better. Have answered a lot for these. We've answered a lot of your questions, and there are so many still here. So one thing that we will be doing after this, because we are coming to the end of our session today. Thank you all so much. This has been really, really helpful and just really great to see all of you here and for all of your wonderful questions. We received about over almost 120 questions, or actually more than that, almost 200 questions here. So we know we weren't able to get to all of our questions today, and that is totally fine. We will be sharing this recording, we will be sharing these slides, and we will be answering some of these questions we did not get to in the coming week or so. And so that way you'll receive all of these materials then afterwards, and that can help you make the decision if you would like to apply to this program. But I just want to thank Nikita for joining us today. I want to thank Noreen for being here as well. Thank you all once again for being with us today, and be on the lookout for these materials here soon. Please reach out if you have any questions. We are really excited to see your application. And once again, that is March 12th is the deadline to participate in our AI journalism lab. So thank you all so much once again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye, everybody.